Thank you for deciding to join me today. I really wanted to talk about a theme that was on my mind for a long time, and I wanted to share this message because I think it's very important for you and for literally anyone to understand our feelings and our emotions so we can navigate our life better, so we can survive our life better, and so we can erase unnecessary stigma that is placed all around the world. So I really thought it's important to share this message, and I'm going to use and try to use only 100% scientifically proved facts. So, if you clicked on this video, the title asked, do you control your emotions or do they control you? And I think it may sound a little tricky, but it isn't. And I thought the answer is fascinating. So to give an answer to this question, let's go more simply. So first of all, our brain has automatic brain responses. Emotions are generated before conscious thought. We have biological wiring, hormones and neurotransmitters trigger feelings without permission. We have subconscious influence. Past experiences and memories shape reactions instantly. We have external stimuli, sights, sounds, smells, and social cues push emotions automatically. We have survival mechanism. Our brain evolved to react quickly, not to think slowly. And we have limited conscious bandwidth. Only a tiny fraction of brain processing is under deliberate control. And we have cognitive bias. English is my second language, so sorry if my pronunciation isn't what you want. The mind filters reality, shaping feelings often without awareness. And, this might already give you a hint. And it might seem like I explained a lot already, but I didn't. I only wanted to give a sneak peek about what we're going to talk about. And you can see a little pattern here. And it's going to be interesting. Emotions are not logic-driven. Emotions arise from the limbic system, the part of your brain that evolved for survival. It reacts automatically to threats, rewards, memories, and sensations. Your prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, can influence them, but it's slow and limited. That's why just deciding to be happy doesn't work most of the time. We mostly influence emotions indirectly, leaving the house, exercising, taking magnesium, vitamins, things that reduce cortisol, medication, work because they change the triggers or the body state, not because you magically flip a switch on emotion. Going outside changes light exposure, blood flow, and neurotransmitters. Magnesium calming supplements influence nerve excitability and stress hormones. Cortisol lowering practices reduce the body's stress response, making it easier to feel calm. These aren't controlling emotions directly. They are nudging the system so the brain reacts differently. Most of our emotional life is unconscious. Think of your emotions like the weather inside of your brain. You can't control the clouds or storms directly. You can only adjust things like the thermostat or take shelter, for example. You can't just will anxiety away. You can go for a walk or listen to music or do something healthy for your brain despite resistance, despite not wanting, which changes brain chemistry and gradually shifts the emotion. But small wins are still real control. That 0.1% control is actually significant. People can rarely switch off an emotion instantly, but we can choose actions that shape the outcome. This is why habits, environment, and small interventions matter more than sheer willpower. We don't control emotions directly because they're automatic, biochemical, and evolved for survival. We only indirectly influence them through actions, lifestyle, environment, and body chemistry. Because they're automatic, biochemical, and evolved for survival, we only indirectly influence them through actions, lifestyle, environment, and body chemistry. That tiny influence is still powerful. It's like steering a massive ship. You'll make it jump, but you can change its course. Control is rarely about forcing yourself to feel happy. It's about shaping the conditions so the natural emotional system leans toward calm, joy, or focus. That's why leaving the house or taking magnesium works. Not because you directly commanded your brain, but because you changed the environment inside and around you. and you can't choose to stop being sad. But even though you may feel really huge resistance when feeling bad, you can choose to move your body, change your environment, or interrupt the loop despite the resistance, which can help and lower the cortisol levels, lower the bad feeling. And remember, you can't command happiness, but you can engineer the tiny domino that leads to it. The tiny choice, that's the 0.1% that changes everything, because emotions snowball. A 1% physical shift becomes a 10% emotional shift 20 minutes later. And like I said, emotions are signals, not orders. A lot of people treat emotions and feelings like commands. I'm anxious, I must hide. I am sad, I must stay in bed. I'm angry, I must react. But emotions are just signals, like notifications on your phone. They pop up automatically. And also, here's a huge paradox, because you have more power over your emotions when you believe you don't control them at all. Because the moment you stop forcing emotions, you stop feeding them. Here's the psychology behind it. Fighting emotions makes them stronger. If you think you're supposed to control sadness, anxiety, anger, you start resisting them, and resisting emotions equals multiplying them. Trying to control emotions is the fastest way to lose control. When you accept you can't control them, they lose their ability to dominate you. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's the moment the emotion stops being afraid. An emotion you stop fighting becomes an emotion you can work with. You're no longer panicking about anxiety, ashamed of sadness, frustrated by frustration. Suddenly the emotion is just there, and once it's just there, it can move. When you stop trying to control emotions, you shift into controlling circumstances instead. You stop wasting energy on I must feel differently right now. And you start doing the things that actually work. Changing your environment, doing the next tiny action, reducing stress chemicals, moving your body, shifting your focus, choosing different behaviors. That's where real power lives. Letting go of the illusion of control gives you actual control. It sounds like a paradox, but it's the truth. When you stop demanding that your emotions obey you, they stop controlling you. You gain freedom, you gain clarity, you gain power, you gain options. You have more power over your emotions when you stop pretending you control them, because the moment you stop fighting them, you stop feeding them. And many times you feel horrible and you know exactly what would help. Maybe getting out, for example, and your brain suddenly acts like you're asking it to walk through fire. Let me explain why this happens in a way that's clear, honest, and actually comforting. And so why many times you feel insane resistance when you're feeling bad, even toward things that would help you. There are three main forces working against you. First is low energy, low motivation, high resistance. When you're in a bad emotional state, your brain is literally running on low energy. Low dopamine, low serotonin, high cortisol, low stimulation. In that state, even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. Your brain basically says, we're low on fuel, movement equals danger, freeze. This is survival wiring, not weakness. Your brain thinks familiar equals safe, even if the familiar thing is misery. This is one of the most painful truths. When you feel awful, your brain prefers the known pain over the unknown possibility of feeling better, because the unknown requires change. Change requires energy. So you feel resistance because your brain is choosing predictable suffering over uncertain relief. It's irrational, but it's ancient survival logic. And another reason is that negative emotions hijack your decision making. When you feel sad, anxious, overwhelmed, the limbic system takes over. And the limbic system is not about growth. It's about protection, minimizing risk, staying still, reducing energy use, avoiding discomfort. So when you try to change environment, stand up, go outside, take a shower, do anything that shifts your state, the limbic system fires an alarm. Nope. Too much effort, too much uncertainty, stay here. That resistance you feel is literally your brain blocking the action, your survival brain blocking the action that would help. The dark irony is that the worse you feel, the more your brain blocks the actions that would make you feel better. That's why emotional low states feel like traps. But here's the twist. The moment you do the thing once, the whole resistance collapses. Your brain realizes, oh, we didn't die. This is actually safe. It's like jumping to the water. So your brain realizes, oh, we didn't die, this is actually safe. And suddenly, the heaviness lifts, the anxiety loosens, the fog begins clearing. This is why leaving the house can make you feel better in 3 minutes, even after 3 hours of resistance. Your brain wasn't protecting you, it was misfiring. So this is the answer on if your emotions control you, or your feelings control you, or you control them. And yeah, I really wanted to share this because, how I said at the beginning, it's very important, basically for anyone to notice. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, for spending time with me. And if you want, you can join me in my other videos. And I can't wait to catch you soon.